Hey, what's up guys, this is Will. Thought I'd do a quick catch-up video. I did have a gig on the 30th of May, which is the Saturday just gone. Set up the gear, took the cameras, set up the gear, started the gig, and before I could whip the cameras out, it was over. So I got no footage, nothing, and it was a really shame. It was quite a good gig. It was a triple 17th, so they were a little bit younger than what I'm used to doing, but it was good, you know, pulled it off. Yeah, they were happy as, so may have some return work out of it, which is really good. But something else that came out of that night was a DJ friend of mine who was working in town, finished around about the same time as I did, and out of the blue he just rang me to see how my gig went. I said, oh yeah, and he says, well, someone called me from the gig, and I was, I'm sweating thinking, oh, what's up now? He said, and he actually paid me a compliment and said that my setup looked really good, my equipment sounded good. The person that was talking to him just said, no, it was really good, it's coming along. So I thought, sigh of relief. I thought, oh yeah, okay, because I really look up to this guy. He's quite knowledgeable. He's been in the DJ game for about 30 years now. He hasn't quite taken me under his wing, but he's given me advice along the way, and which, just listen to it. If somebody that's been in the game for that long gives you advice, just take it on board, But what I wanted to say was, he complimented, I was complimented on how good my setup looked, and they especially said that it was tidy, there wasn't too many cables. Because I also found out that another friend of ours that was DJing that night, someone rang our mutual friend and said that it was shocking. He had cables running everywhere. He had it just looked really, really messy, and there was bits and pieces all over the place. So I try and pride myself on it and keeping tidy. And I think the thing about it is, if you're tidy, it makes the equipment look good. If you have a speaker stand just standing there by itself, it looks quite tidy. Now you wrap a few leads around it and dangle them off the bottom and then strew it all across the floor, it starts to get messy. So I think for myself, I've sort of come to the conclusion that if it's easy to set up, if it's just plug in, plug out, I'm not dealing with 100,000 cables, and I'm not having to use a 10-foot cable when I know I only need a 3-foot cable. So it's maybe not important to some people. Some people don't give a shit about how the leads look and where they're running and what they're doing. But for me, I think to myself that if the less cables I can use, the less cluttered it's going to be. And it's what brings me to my next thing, which is a cable that I do use. It's a piece of equipment that I've used, and I find it really works for me, and it actually saves me a bit of time. So I'll show you that right now. And this is more for the powered speaker users, if you have powered speakers, because obviously with powered speakers you need a signal cable to run from your mixer to the speaker, and also a power cable to obviously plug into the wall or into an extension lead or into whatever to power them up. So if you have powered speakers, you know what I'm talking about. Before I used to run 2 leads, a power lead and a signal lead, and then at the end of the power lead I'd have another short lead which goes from the normal power plug socket to the IC, I think they're called. Well, they look like jug cords anyway. I'll show you in a second. So it looked quite messy. It used to get quite messy, and it used to get quite just a hassle. I found it to be a hassle running 4 leads, for 2 speakers with when I only needed, I was trying to find. I was thinking, man, what if they did one that had one, just power lead and a signal lead all in one lead? Well, they do. Funny enough, they do it, and this is them here. I found them, and I actually got quite a good deal on them. So what it is, one end looks like this. It's a signal lead, it's a power lead. This is a jig cord I was talking about. They're quite universal. and the other end looks like this. Take this off. Looks something like this. Wall socket, maybe different whatever country you're from. We're from New Zealand, so we got this funny looking connection, and then you got your XLR. So it's a real handy lead, and like I said, it's all on one cable at the ends, splits sort of like this. So you can see that splits, and it runs into a cable like that. And this is a 10-foot cable. It's quite a thick cable. It's a real durable cable, made by a company called ProL. I think they're an Italian company, but nevertheless, very good lead, very handy. I mean, I'm running one lead when normally I'd be running 2 leads and having a whole bunch of mess everywhere. So going back to what I was saying, if you have the right leads for the right job, like I say, if you know your lighting bar, your lighting tier only extends up to say, I don't know, 8 foot, why get a 15-foot cable to run in, and you have all this cable left over? You know, it becomes clutter and mess, and more things for people to trip over, and more things for you to untangle down. It's probably better to get, you know, cables that are more suited to what you're using them for. So in a sense, customizing your kit in a way, so that you know that, oh, okay, I've got a lead, and you've always got the lead too, by the way. I've got a case, rack case, obviously, little small rack case, and I know that from it sits on top of a keyboard stand. I know that from the bottom of it to the top of it is no more than 3 feet, so I don't need an 18-foot cable to plug into my my rack box, which stands 3 feet. You know, I've got all this leftover cable. I don't need it. So basically what I've done, because signal comes out of there too, so I've got a lead that's got power and signal similar to this one, although it's got 2 XLRs rather than one. So I've made a special one for it. It's no longer than 3 feet long, because I know every time I set up, it's on top of the box and it's ready to go. And it's just, and the other thing too is everything. I personally use a rack box because everything's plugged in, ready to go. I don't have to plug turntables in or CDJs together and plug them all up. It's all in one box. Flick on one power switch and it's all going. Everything's plugged up already. I know that it's all working. I've got one power plug that goes in, 2 XLRs that come out, and it's ready to go. So again, it's just making it easier for yourself, you know. So I guess another thing too is, if you have any kit that you use, it's a handy piece of equipment that you use that you think may be helpful to people out there, you know, in the DJ game, because it's all about, I mean, mobile is all about being mobile, you know, about taking as less, for me, taking as less as possible, but making sure that everything's going to work 100%, but you're not going to have clutter and cables running everywhere. So for me, I guess this is my piece of kit that I find very keeps things clutter free, easy to use. It's a good all-round piece of kit. So if there's any equipment that you have that you think that is a bit of a time saver and clutter free sort of piece of equipment, then maybe post up a video, make a comment, whatever. Yeah, no, I'd like to hear it, because I mean, there's other areas that I like to tidy up in my setup, which is actually my lighting, power mainly. And I think I've got an idea for that anyway, so I might do a video on that later on, at a later stage. But yeah, so I don't know, post a video, tell me what you think. That's it. See you later.